EPIC46 with Intel, sponsored by XP iPro, iProWare, Overclockers, and ASOS Republica Gaming. I've got them all in the end. I am Sovereign, and I'm joined by Sheba.
Hello.
How have you been enjoying LAN so far? Early days, only one game down.
It's been so soon. The best is yet to come, and it's still been fantastic. I mean, I'm so happy to be here again. I think Octoberland is always the most exciting one. You have the potential for the absolute best teams that we can really have available in the UK. Now that we are like the biggest LAN in the UK, some of the biggest teams in Valorant are in this country are coming back. You know, those who aren't already taken over by bigger priorities like Tier 2 and Tier 1, right? And although maybe early stage we're having a little bit more fun for these teams, I think later on, especially in the bigger stages, teams are going to be so much more exciting to watch. It's going to be so much more fun. And I absolutely cannot wait. I really, really think that this tournament could be one of the best we've seen with the quality of teams that we have coming in, including some storylines of the reigning champions returning, big teams coming back after not being available for Summerland, for example. There's a lot of possibilities for how much fun this could be, including the fact that it's very fresh, new patch coming in, very gunplay reliant, a lot of utility being thrown down. But these two teams are a little bit more on the fun side. Watch My Belly and SOGBOX. SOGBOX have been a team that's been around for quite a while in Epic. Watch My Belly have been kind of a compilation of a few of the players who have been regularly here at Epic LAN. And with the vetoes coming in, it's a quick dash into this game with Abyss, Sunset, Corrode, Pearl Haven, and Split all being bound with Bind as the pick here. So Bind's been that map where it's a little bit fresher now, and I think is one of the bigger maps that has a bit of a util hit going into this.
Yeah, and I suppose with that combined with the recent patch notes, like we said, is that I'm sure everyone's kind of starting to get aware of utility seems to have become far less of a priority, whereas gun skill is bumping up in terms of its importance. We were discussing during the break. You expect to see a lot more duelists coming out.
Yes.
And
you may have heard it.
Yeah, maybe. But with both these teams, I've had a look at their first round, both of them coming off losses. SOGBOX lost 13-7, and Wash My Belly washed 13-3.
Wash My Belly washed up 13-3.
Very much so.
I love that little wordplay you got there. Yeah.
Not our worst loss so far. Not our worst loss so far, but both teams wanting to look to bounce back. I'm getting the impression that if both these teams are kind of fun, they're probably going to play more for frags rather than around the objectives.
Honestly, I wouldn't be too sure exactly what's running, because although SOGBOX have been around for quite a while, I think some of their players have been known for swapping around their roles a lot. Wash My Belly have a couple players that are familiar, but generally speaking, still not as certain on exactly what they would run. I think for a map like Bind, there are a lot more means for traditional roles, but Double Duelist is still a very valid option. Chamber is a very valid option on this map. I think the common meta that happened before this big patch was that Yoru was taking over almost every single map, and Yoru was also non-exceptional on a map like this. And this time, you know, Raze is going to be coming back into the meta, of course, with not having as big of an impact with that util nerf being in, right? So a lot more entry power, but also it's really normal to see Double Duelist. It's really normal to see Skye come back too. Skye was already a great player, a great agent on this map, but now that some of the bigger agents like Breach and Fade have been not as prevalent, you've got that Skye coming back. Even though despite Yoru's nerfs coming in, we are still seeing SOGBOX rocking this Yoru. This looks like a comp that SOGBOX are very familiar with. Maybe in fact an alternative comp that they've been practicing before this big patch comes in, because we're honestly seeing something that's very traditional, aside from maybe that Chamber being in there. No Double Duelist coming in is interesting. No Sentinel either. Usually, if you wanted to not run a Sentinel, you would run Double Controller instead. But this time, it's a very aggressive Double Initiator. We can call Chamber a Sentinel all you want, but this is basically a Duelist with one flank trip. To me, it's not that deep of a Sentinel kind of role.
I have to agree. The Chamber very much seems to favour the more flashy, fraggy play style of they will set themselves up so they've got their little area that they can play in. They've got their safety-wise, but they seem very selfish. They don't seem to play for the team as a wider whole.
Yeah, and I think what's really good with this one as well is that SOGBOX have a composition where they can run doubles a lot. For example, you can have Stempy and Joe play together with the Chamber and Skye, double upping up through long, for example. You can Skye Flash for information, and then both of you guys can rotate very quickly if that goes for an attack. With Yoru as well, still fantastic on these rotations, which I think is one thing that still makes Yoru a good option on Bind. It's understandable that, you know, some of the nerfs coming through for this agent is a little scary. His ultimate was one of the most valuable ults in the game, being able to throw flashes and cloaks clones on top of a TP is really scary. But I think his ult is still going to be great for invasion, especially on a map like Bind where there are a lot of close corners and a lot of scary areas that you're going to have to be clearing. But for Watch My Belly, it's really interesting to see these comps because you're seeing a very ranky-like comp. You're seeing Neon from Victini, you're seeing Ivy on the Clove, and you're still seeing the double doorless regardless of that. It's really interesting how the tendencies of these players in terms of comfort roles are still being kicked in, and it might have a tell for which team is more prepared going into the match.
Yeah, I think you've kind of hit that nail on the head of, it seems to be, as people are getting not only deep into this tournament, perhaps into the patch as well, it seems to be a lot more who's comfortable on what roles, what do you normally play when you get home after work, that kind of vibe of making sure you've got
into the match
those comfort ones.
We're into the game, but I can't see anything. Can you guys see anything? Can people, can viewers see anything? We're already into the pistol, and we are a bit late into the round, and it's 3-3, so still close.
Still close. There's still all up to play for, but it seems all the action's happening around the B site. Evelyn Feet picks, finds McKiller.
A lot overwhelmed already with that plant coming through. There's so much pressure being applied here. Spike is down, but the smoke's in his bait, and soon a fight.
Bit of windy, 1v1.
Raw, choke. Not ready at all. A little bit caught unaware by Good Guy Raw. The position, the comms just not there, clearly. But honestly, we've not really got a chance to see that much come through into that. But again, I mean, it seems like Watch My Belly, a little bit caught off guard by Evelyn's feet picks. And, you know, I get it. It happens. But you got to lock in for this match. You've got Juki on the raise, which is also important, that double duelist. Hyper aggressive. You've got some very serious attacking firepower coming in from Watch My Belly. And I think they need to be able to get as many rounds as possible on that attack. Because especially on a comp that SOGBOX are running, you're not going to be able to get away with as much aggression on the defense. You're going to be having a lot scarier anchors. But with this bait and switch come through, instantly first blood drawn in favor of the eco.
I say Vinci feeling themselves here, but Watch My Belly in the deficit in terms of players. Evelyn Feet picks finding a return to keep their team ahead in terms of the kill count.
For Juki, didn't catch post left player and Prophet there on the Sheriff, but seems like Shinji is not going to make that problem anyway. I mean, quickly dismantling the rest of them. Eco run round again back for SOGBOX, so
helps to tip it back into their favor if they're able to kind of stump that without committing so many resources to it, and now they seem to be starting to tool themselves up.
Yeah, this is a very strange, volatile play, but I think SOGBOX handled that great. A good bait and switch, Prophet looking like that only aggressive anchor to give that early information. And once that TP's away, usually that layer of security is up there, but that bait for the Sky to get that pick with the shorty is exactly what you're kind of looking for when you're going for that. It doesn't have to necessarily be the round one, it's just damage in, and Victini just catching Joe off guard.
So Watch My Belly were looking at, from the look of it, they were doing an eco, and Vicinity is just going on the tear, picking up every scrap of weapon that they can to just keep their team ahead.
Spike planted.
Good bit of momentum. Evelyn Feet picks kind of being cautious around here, knowing that they've got those Watch My Belly players stacked up perhaps towards them.
Yeah. I'm scared. Not expecting the Evelyn Feet picks, overwhelmed. So, I don't think shot down quite quickly. Shinshu, the lethal shoots are on this. Could bounce me back, but not this time.
Last player standing.
Zinti's on a tear, free piece of the round so far, very much trying to keep Watch My Belly on their shoulders.
Drifts around again, back to back here. Pistol round one from Watch My Belly, and then that eco from SOGBOX. You'd think that the flip would be in, but Watch My Belly went for an audacious buy. I mean, Victini just stormed in with the bucket in hand. Joe was just completely caught out. I'm not sure what happened, but with not having his TP up for whatever reason, getting effectively seen as a free kill after that flash came in to coordinate with Victini there, a bit of a problem. And you've also had Prophet being caught out with the audio on the TP. Easily lines up for the stun, and it just gives Victini a free two-person kill entry with not really anything to fight with. And on top of that, you only have one trip, so the moment Joe falls way too early into the round, it just backfires horribly. And Victini's trying to run the same strat again, this time though, with Joe in a superior position to pick up a killer. And a second as well to join in.
Joe taking up 2 on that round. Watch My Belly in the deficit, seeming that aggressive player style. SOGBOX were prepared for it, not going to fall for that again. Joe with 3 kills and Prophet finding a 4th. Joe finding his 4-piece, matching Vicinti's kill count from the last round. There we go. Got my words out at the end.
Yeah. So far, so good for both teams. It seems relatively close and back and forth. I think that's what we're hoping, where even if these teams may not be deemed as the bigger favorites going into this tournament, it's still nice to see these teams compete to a degree. Better than a 13-0, I'd like to think. We're already
100%.
better on trail than last series.
Very much so.
Let's be thankful of that at least, right?
And it's nice to see a bit more of an exciting game style. You know, people, both teams trying to get in each other's faces, especially those on the side of Wash My Belly. They seems to be they want to have something to prove.
Huge here. Are they ready?
Prophet narrowly missing, getting shot in the face. Emerges from the smoke, hits one. Can't get away with the TP. The Vicinity finds one. Stempy finds another in return. So trade, equal man count, not so long. Stempy finds one onto Good Guy Rule.
Good Guy Rule flashed himself and got himself picked there. I'm not sure what happened there, but Stempy survives. And so it's just Mikilla trying to catch a timing. It just backfires though. So Stempy with 3 kind of completely thwarts out this attack here from SOGBOX, but that pick from Ivy of Joe might have made things possible here. Can't use the not dead yet as the last player standing, but Stempy still trying to be careful. That jump peak a bit far, but not enough to get caught.
Been mollied off, so they can't press this, so it's just a matter of having to wait for them.
Does have to smoke in a second though. Looking to maybe catch out one in the corner, but I think EPIC46 is ready to jump scare and save his teammate when it matters the most.
It's like you said, they're peeking 2 players at the same time. It's always going to be a difficult spray transition, isn't it? They did well to get the 1, but couldn't account for the final player on the side of SOGBOX.
Yeah, a very tasteful trade from EPIC46 as the team. Honestly, very grateful to have that player on their side.
I have to
Wash My Belly must be flustered by the idea, considering how well they're playing in this match right now. Maybe you got to lock in a little bit more and stop thinking about that.
Yeah, I suppose so. And but that's the question, though, isn't it? Do you think this is? We've kind of gone tit for tat here, with some focus around the objective and a lot of focus around trying to close down and finish these kills. Do you think it's going to be a tit for tat kind of vibe?
I'm not too sure. Right now, this could be a big turning point for this round, as you have that tour de force thrown out by Joe, but he's in such a rough position here. This is far too close for him to be playing around, and that's a big error made from Joe. And Victini is going to start punishing if he's not caught out by jump scare EPIC46, but Juki is not that kind of man. He will straight away shut him down with that showstopper. With the spike planted 4 on 3, SOGBOX are looking to try and make a pincer maneuver, and Seekers are going to be invested into this too.
SOGBOX wanting to collapse, but they lose 1 on the site, or towards the site, sorry. Prophet finds Good Guy Rules. Mikla finds 1 onto Stempy. It's now 3v1, and Prophet, sorry, can't make it work. Mikla picking up a 3-piece there, and I think you highlighted it at the start of that round. Very much Joe being out of position didn't help the side of SOGBOX there.
Not at all. I think that was a really big error from Joe, and maybe the standard should not be held as very highly. But when you know you're in a part of the map that's very easy to get quick engaged on, it's better to be in a position where you can have a weird off angle that maybe have you in the open initially, but very quickly you can get out once you make first contact. Once that contact's made, you gotta go. You can't lose that tour de force when you're in a round like that. I think Victini's just doing great jobs at displaying this immense confidence, being one of the strongest players in this lobby.
I have to agree, yeah, Victini, and you already see them on this tear again. They're just trying to take whatever engagements that they can find. Good Guy Rule already with getting the plant down.
Late. He cancelled the plant? That is egregious there. EPIC's jump scaring them when they really were not ready for it. I think not letting that plant go down and just giving Joe a free sightline here, it's going to backfire horribly. The tap from Juki is not going to mean a thing either. This is a 4th round for SOGBOX. This is, honestly, again, a big error from Wash My Belly. When you're in that situation, just commit the plant. You're going to die anyway. And if you have that space, and if you have that slight sinking feeling that the operator might be there, which should have been warranted considering the money that Joe had, it should have just been a committed plant there and there.
I kind of agree with the sentiment that it's very much... It changed the whole dynamic of the round as well. As soon as you get that spike plant, you have some kind of advantage. You have to let those players come towards you. You can set up your own sight lines. If you don't commit to putting that down, then you're at a disadvantage.
I like reveal Victini's position here. Very much heard audio as well. Again, is just a player who's got no chill into this. He's very happy to go into hyper aggro engages,
Spike down
but it's
A.
Tempe to find this immaculate timing on the swing. Instantly picks out 2, and that shower's free with the spike down 2. My question is now whether or not SOGBOX want to engage and claim that space deeper to make sure they have extra security on the spike.
You feel like they must do, though. They want to try and take advantage of this here. And
Double flash!
Player standing.
Beautiful. Exactly what you were looking for there, to catch them off guard.
Wash My Belly only good for 1, and it seems that SOGBOX might be starting to find their groove.
Yeah, Killer left on her own. Regular Epic Liner 10D as well. Been around the scene for a long time and can do some good damage if the cards are right, but this time not much, unfortunately. That gets her 1. SOGBOX survive and finally get themselves a 2-round lead.
In fairness to SOGBOX, as you can see by the scoreboard, they're the only ones that have been able to string any form of rounds together, and I think that's starting to... Do you think that might start to be wearing on the minds of Wash My Belly? They're not able to build this momentum, especially with a player like VALORANT on their team.
I think what's difficult here is that despite VALORANT doing a great job at engaging, the moment you're able to shut that down, there's not a lot of offensive power that you can run from Wash My Belly. Unfortunately, you know, Juki's Raze has not found that impact that you're really looking for, and on top of that, SOGBOX has a brilliant ultimate economy here. You have both the Nightfall and the Dimensional Drift that you can invest into this for a retake if you wanted to play it. And this is a great comp for that. You can literally just hold at an off angle, grab your 1, and get out, and then play retake. You can instantly play at a man advantage, and that's what's so beautiful about this comp from SOGBOX. And I think Prophet, with that fake off the TP from the Yoru clone, exactly what you're hoping for here. Because you can use that TP to fake things out. You have 2 agents that can instantly get out if you wanted to fake that TP and play those mind games. Wash My Belly, having lost that 1 player, and Evelyn VALORANT digging deep into the minds here of Wash My Belly with this Odin, it's not going to help add that pressure. And that Molly is ready to be thrown out too. The Nightfall in preparation after engage.
Joe finds on a good guy rule. Looks like there's going to be no spike planting at the moment on the side of B. Going to have to recover that at some point. But SOGBOX with all the cards here, seemingly. Sog Cinch finds 1 under control. Juki Ivy finds back, trades back 1, but Prophet finds Michaela and leaves Ivy on her own and Ivy dead on the side of Wash My Belly. And it's 3 on the trot.
Yeah. 3rd round in a row now for SOGBOX. Looks like they're making their comfort zone there. Prophet acting up a lot more than you're wanting, which is great. If you're not Wash My Belly. I think this level 5 is a good omen, especially because you already still have that Dimensional Drift in play. Ultimates, again, still not the best for Wash My Belly. You've got the Not Dead Jet and you have that Neural Theft, but this is a much better scenario if you wanted to play slow and lurky. And that's not possible for Wash My Belly. You can't do that. You need to play hard engages. You need to play faster, claim instant space, because that is what your comp enables you to do.
And it's not even, it doesn't even seem to be fitting that they wouldn't even fit the style of play of the players, not even necessarily just their agents as well. It's seemingly they want to take this fight and bring it to them. Prophet finds 1 under Michaela early on in the round.
Wow. Survived by just a little bit of hair too. I don't even know how he managed to get that TP timed so well to get out, but it's worked. It's a very eco here from Wash My Belly. You need to hope that VALORANT can grab a pick, maybe through a wall through spam. You saw some attempts earlier on, but no blood drawn. Joe is watching the smoke, which I'm surprised of. I would have thought you'd be checking long, but it seems to work out with the smoke dissipating. VALORANT's next to go, and you know, the Pokemon of victory is unfortunately not really helping his team get that win out. And with this eco, I mean, it's to be expected. However, you know, you can't help but wish at least 1 or 2 picks of damage there, especially with such insane weaponry. Evelyn VALORANT just sliding into showers and catching Juki off guard. And so with that, 1 by 1 they fall. Wash My Belly now down to 1. And Ivy again.
Looking for some kind of exit frag, aren't they?
Oh, don't do it to her. Oh, Ivy! Ivy, quick. You know, we're in the UK, lad. These guys know what they're doing with their knives. Let's make that clear.
100%.
No way. Wow. Blind under all that pressure, just throws out the knife and instantly swings and just grabs one.
It was good on Ivy to find at least some kind of exit frag and maybe get something back in terms of from that eco round, but it didn't look all too convincing from the side of Wash My Belly.
No.
SOGBOX, I think, seem firmly controlled. Is firmly in control, sorry, of this round, and at least this half.
Same position again from Joe, and that's a misplay there. VALORANT sliding there intentionally to clear it. And I mean, with that, when Victini clears that and you have sight on the chamber, you don't peek that, lad. You flash, you smoke, you don't peek it. Big error there from Wash My Belly, and that's led to 2 of the biggest engage tools, including a Seeker's ultimate, taking out the picture. With Joe just running amok on this operator. And that is part of the value chamber entails when you have such a ginormous patch that disables so much util dump coming in. It is still Valorant. You're still going to be seeing a lot of util as if you play your cards right, but it just doesn't change the fact that operator is just going to be such a more oppressive gun that a player like Joe on the chamber will do so much work on.
It's like we sort of discussed during a break-in at the start. Control Duke, he finds one to the Joe, I suppose shuts down that, as we were saying, that importance on gunplay, shut that down, and now we're in a 2v2, and it's changed the game a little bit more.
So, a really big overpush there from Joe. Generally, just
30 seconds
keep
left.
holding the angle and then reposition once you go down, but Dookie with that pick could bounce back, but
One enemy
no idea of getting the
Last
feed picks
player
on top of the
standing.
barrel. And Stempy, despite having his teammate tried by Ivy, will be able to respond back, so SOGBOX still survive. Despite what could have been a round-defining error being made there, it still works out. And as we're going into 83 to the half, 1 more left. Ultimate still not used from Wash My Belly. Ivy and Makilla have been holding on to their ultimates for a very long time now. And granted, Victini and Jugi are 1 orb away. Maybe your goal here is to take space of one area, give them the ult, and either rotate or just hard engage. It really depends on what you want to run. Joe, of course, going to be running that tour de force. Seekers will be great for a late game option, and you've got the dimensional drift if you want to run for the retake or grab some early info.
I think they're wanting to try and return back to this. Perhaps they want to just shove it, as it were, and try and get into the face of SOGBOX. With Victini leading the charge as always.
Spammed a little bit. If Victini can grab one, it will be huge, but the
They
rest
don't
of
know.
their team is getting smashed like flies on a SWAT, and Makilla is going to be on the chopping block here. Somehow survives. Evan feed picks, too hot for Stempy, but enough for to take down Makilla. It's a 9-3 half for SOGBOX.
Switching sides.
With the side switch coming in, now it's a big fear factor because this composition from SOGBOX is so good for bind. And when you're Wash My Belly, really this comp is not good for holding on sites for long term. You really want to just be able to be as aggressive as possible. You can't do that with these comps that you're running. Prophet has a TP that can instant rotate to the opposite side of the map, so you can have this excellent lurk presence. And on top of that, Joe is just going to be able to be that hard anti-rotate anchor. For example, can hold on through this and just watch the TP come through. Or if he wants to, hold main from this area in market to stop anyone from rotating through the TP into hookah to catch anyone off guard.
Yes, it's like you said, Wash My Belly don't seem to be fully equipped for the pace of this game. And they seem to want to... So SOGBOX now on the other side, I think they seem to hold far more of the cars like we were discussing, and as they try and encroach their way onto B, get a vague idea of what's going on. So Stempy and Prophet finding the first 2 on the round, and they've taken B off them.
I have to say, that was an excellent coordinated double flash there from SOGBOX. We saw it again earlier as well when they were fighting Showers last half. It seems like this team really do have their bearings on this, and I think that's a great sign for this team going into the future, where bind seems to really be a good reign of territory for them. Being able to coordinate those double flashes without flashing your team, without causing any problems off of the push, it's really, really good to see. And unfortunately for Watch My Belly, although they're getting a little bit of a valid response, the damage is too much, and Prophet is slamming, punching down deeper into the depths here for Watch My Belly, as it's 10-3 on the pistol. Almost certain to be 11-3 unless we see something like the start of that half. But it was SOGBOX to have won that before, and now they are winning 7 rounds in a row. It went from seemingly tit for tat to now a bit of a sweep.
Very much so, and I think it seems that SOGBOX have adapted far better to the challenges presented by Wash My Belly. They understood that they were playing this very hyper-aggressive kind of style, so it seems that they slowed the game down and would allow Wash My Belly to take some space and be like, okay, we know Victini's going to come tearing through all these hallways. They don't seem fully aware of all the positionings of SOGBOX.
As well, just being isolated so well, not really able to win these fights when it matters. Victini being the only saving grace for this team, grabbing his one, but you need more from a player who's so valuable for this team. And he's taking out so early. With superior weaponry in the hands here of SOGBOX. of a close angle that they're going for, playing bench for Prophet to catch that CT rotation. But on the opposite side here, Juki on this flank could do something, but the rest of his team is gone. He can't make the value even if he gets his one. And that's 11 for SOGBOX.
It's not looking good, and it seems that Wash My Belly perhaps ran out of steam very early in those first 6 rounds that we witnessed of this match. That they just don't seem to have the mental, the steam, as it were, to keep pushing forward, and they're not adapting either. Victini's always seems to be good for one, but then they seem to get punished by not having the knowledge and the intel of the other positionings of SOGBOX.
For an agent like Neon with so much movement, generally speaking, you're better off going for some peaks. If you are running the Bucky, you don't rat on Neon. You have to just fight, try and claim that deep space, especially considering how enclosed that rotational part is. If you were to hold that, you'd be really in the races. And I think the problem is for Wash My Belly is that they're not really running anybody to trade Victini off of these rat angles. If you have a rat angle, you need somebody to be able to throw that util for you, have that trade ready to swing off of the pick. But, I mean, unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. Victini multiple times now has had that angle where he gets his one. No one's with him if he falls afterwards. And that's the problem for SOGBOX, where they've been able to do that. They've had someone trade for them. And that's the difference between these two teams. And that is why SOGBOX, clearly the superior team in this match so far.
It's very much seemed like that. It just seems that SOGBOX are playing far more as a collective team, like you said. Oh.
5v2, promising. Got more to worry about here. MP and Evelyn VALORANT together in unison, holding hands as they engage onto the site. Ivy falling.
Spike planted.
As that plant from
SOGBOX is already down.
oh, the Seeker's enabled from that front as well.
Going for a weapon trade, and Victini could be a difference maker here, but they've just got to be careful and they've got to start hitting these shots.
Great
Instead, VALORANT finds one onto Victini, Stempy finds one onto Goodgirl, and Sog Cinch, I think, finds one onto Juki.
No matter what happens, nobody expects the Evelyn VALORANT peak timing. No one expects it. And who does? I didn't expect it when I saw the team next going into this match.
We did have a small chuckle.
Hey, these guys are here for fun, so let's make the most of it.
100%, 100%.
Dini and Ivy are seeming to be the only saving graces here, but again, it's the same deal where they're alone, they're isolated, and if you're in that spot, you get your one, and you gotta go. You can't stay there, especially when you know the SOGBOX are the team that are the types to trade and double up together. It's 12-3. This is a Dominic stomp. Granted, not 13-0, thank goodness. We've had the best series so far. We can flex that to Jack and Mads later. But with this, it seems like a do or die straight here for Wash My Belly.
Very much so.
Inferior buy on top of it, TP initiated, grabbing the orb, Dimensional Drift now enabled for Profit. They're going to have so much ability to control this, thanks to that Dimensional Drift. And I think Wash My Belly, they need to be privileged as soon, because you still have 2 members on B waiting for something, and you've got 5 members of SOGBOX waiting to fully enter this. It's a counter rotation, continue onto 1, an instant TP, an instant rotation promise from Wash My Belly as well.
Well, it's like you were saying, Victini at least getting their one and then getting out and not hanging around too long to allow that trade game to come to effect. Prophet looking to make something happen here. Finds one sort of going through his... Yeah, he's got all this information.
Oh, this is audacious. TP's without or appears without a TP proc.
Oh.
Gets one, but falls to good guy rules, bad guy stinger. With a double TP rotations being called from SOGBOX. Oh, you can't do that.
That was cheeky.
Let's be a little bit more classful, my friend. Come on. You can't be doing that. You can't be getting away with that.
Momentum has already started to swing. What did I say then? It swung back. Good guy, Mikla finding those 2 important kills.
Oh, good trade. Good guy Rule timed it well.
Very much so.
4th round for Wash My Belly, thank goodness, because that looked like it was going to backfire.
Very much so. And, you know, they managed to... They played a bit more reserved. They allowed SOGBOX to take what space they wanted to. And it was a bit dicey. There was a few momentum changes, but ultimately they got it done through controlling. And I don't know whether or not Prophet should have committed to try and take those fights around the objective. I thought they were just going to go and get the intel, go back to a safe space, and then kind of orchestrate and go, okay, there's 3 players here, 1 on high and 2 by the crate. Let's try and piece them down and go and get the win for the match.
I have to say, Prophet instantly pairing out his ultimate in front of 2 people blind without any clear information of where somebody is on the site is audacious, and it shows, excuse me, an immense amount of confidence there. But this time, they seem to be going unison, and Big T is completely smashed. And with that, you've got 2 members here. The Seeker's thrown out. Prophet not expecting it at all here. With Giveaway Rule, still not able to take down Prophet. No one can kill this guy unless he goes in blind in a 2v1, and even then, he's still managing to make some value out of it. And it's Ivy alone. It's a story we've seen too many times at this rate. Ivy just a Herculean task for, unfortunately, a not so godly player coming into the series, especially with the team coming in with only 4 kills to 12, a Guardian in hand. Not something that Hercules would really be too equipped for.
I think Joe's already waiting for him, and Ivy finds the one onto Joe, but yeah, as you said, it's traded out and closes out the match.
That's the match.
That is the match.
Unfortunately, another quite dominant match that we saw going into it, but I have high hopes for SOGBOX. I think they seemed very promising, a lot better than I expected, and it's good to see how confident they were going into this. I think especially seeing how dynamic their plays were and how well they were able to play together with that double flash, double TP comp was really, really exciting to me. And I'm curious on how they're going to keep playing this on Bind, because honestly, that was a fun match to see. Even if it was quite dominant, it was really clear that Watch My Belly were a tier below this team, but it doesn't change the fact that SOGBOX do look relatively promising. And we could see an exciting match from this team against an actual high caliber team. We'll have to wait and see.
I have to agree. I enjoyed how SOGBOX played. They seemed to be far more in tune with each other. They wanted to play, and like we said, they came off a loss, but it was a competitive loss. It was a 7-13 loss. They've come in and clearly beaten what's in front of them, which was a not as good team. It was not on the same level. So I'm looking forward to seeing them as well.
Despite that, they still showed some really good strategies and good execs that I'm excited to see. The fact that they're so confident in retaking space and using double flashes to coordinate things with each other is really, really good. You can kind of see how the comp works, but it doesn't change the fact how volatile it can be and how unexpected it can be with how they rotate and change those things around. So I think it's a promising play from SOGBOX, even if the team even if Watch My Belly may have not been there for all the gold, it was still exciting to see. And it's still fun to watch them play. And, you know, at the end of the day, no one's ready for the Evelyn feed picks. So how can you expect that? Clearly the MVP, off of name value alone. So we'll have to appreciate that for what it is, a tasteful addition to this team of already great players. But with that, that's another best of 1 gone. Next match is coming up very soon. Withdrawn by Prophet. Sovereign, what do you think of the next matches coming up? Do you think it's going to be a similar deal? Do you think that we're going to be seeing some exciting maps? Because here's one thing I was going to say. Lotus is out of the pool. For a player, that's horrible. For a caster who's seen Lotus every single bloody tournament too many times, that's a blessing for me, I have to say.
Someone sort of fresh into this kind of scene, I don't have too many opinions on the map pool, but I'm happy that it seems, and not only you, but I know Mads and Jack both kind of share that sentiment of getting rid of this map and moving on to greener pastures, as it were.
It's one of those things where it's the greenest pasture, but, you know, it's like you've been sitting there with your lounge chair for a little bit too long. You're getting a little bit bored. You need to see some difference, you know? But, yeah. With that being said, that's been us. I've been Shiva drawn by Sovereign. I've been waffling my words. Sorry about that.
That's all
I've been
right.
Shiva drawn by Sovereign, and we'll see you guys very, very soon for our next best of 1 coming up, where Mads and Jack will be joining you guys again. It won't be long until we'll be back. See you guys soon.